look, scientists and elite try to hide what's really happening at Cern. Demonic entities, right? That's what it's all about. Demonic side, the demonic side. Right? So know the truth. It's not about the Higgs boson or the insult as they like it to call us, the God particle. Not about none of that. It's all pushed in by these scum of the earth then, right? Scum of the earth. We're all being controlled. The church has neglected the people. The schools are neglecting the people. And these are the people who's controlling our people. Do you understand? That's how they get talking to them telepathically. And all this shit. This is how we do it. They don't walk down the road and say, hey, they knock at your door. No, these people are in another realm. These demons, these are in another realm, another place, another time. And they're coming trying to get in here, and they do get in here. And man is cahoot with them. And they have been for thousands of years. And their plan is to kick God off the face of his own creation. And they want to take over and make you live under the beast system. Do you see the beast there? Because that's kind of what he'll be looking like. Because there's your aliens. There's your happy little, we come to help you aliens. These are demons. They've given them a new name, as I told you, went back a few hundred years ago. Asked someone, what is that? They said, that is a demon. Oh no, that's not a demon. That's just a friendly alien. That's right, and he's a trans-binary as well. Yeah, he's trans-binary. And he's about 1 million different genders, and he's not a man, and he's not a woman, and he's just a what's-it. That's it. It's just all, they're all one big load of what's-its, right? There's some more handsome faces there, look. Some, again, all up out of the pits of hell, coming from another realm, telling you that they're coming around in UFOs. Remember, Satan says it, when I appear in the future, when I try to control the world and fool the whole lot, even it's only for the elect we'd all be ghost. That's why God's going to save any of us. He said, when I come, I'm going to come like a light. I'm going to be like higher than the Most High. I will be like a light in the heavens. And when you look up into the sky and you see after us, what do you see? A big bright what? That's right. A big bright light. And them boys inside and it's supposed to be. Oh, sure now. Anyway, but they gotta feed the bugs into me. They'd have no problem eating bugs. You see, these kind of creatures will have no problem eating bugs. They're built for eating bugs. But we're not. We're human beings. We're not built for eating no fucking bugs. But that's what they want us to do. That's what they're trying to degrade man. They're trying to bring us down to nothing. Nothing. And they're all in it. The Freemasons. Nice cup of tea. Ah, God bless us. Beats eating bugs. So how's she cracking, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are we now? So this is just a little video here I'm doing, right? I'm going to try and make it fast, just to let you know that a lot of cities throughout the world are laid out Masonically. The upside down star, the witchcraft little setup, because most of them are laid out by the Freemasons. And the Freemasons, well, we all know what they do. They worship Satan. They'll tell you it's for the good of mankind, but sure, what do you think Satan is going to do? He's not going to come up with a pair of horns and say, here, I'm up to take you away. He's going to get you sneakily. Oh, he's going to let on he's here to help you. And when you're swallowed up by the whole system, kind of like that, there, boom. Well then, that's how he gets you. So the Masonic, a lot of the world is laid out in the Masonic way. A lot of cities, London, even here in Ireland, up in Dublin. So I'm going to give you a quick look through now, boys. Right, as I said, when Satan is coming for you, he doesn't come with a pair of horns on his head and fire, and that doesn't come into play until he has you. First he'll come like a twisted freak with sweets and smiles and all that kind of way. That's right, like an old perv would come for you. Your children, that's the way he'll come at you. So I'm going to go up here now, lads, and I'm going to get... Roisin is not with me now, lads, so you'll have to bear with me. So I'm just going to go through here a couple of Freemasons. So, right, these are the Masonic Lodge, the Grand Lodge, G. People imagine the G is for the God, but it's for the Grand Lodge. They're the G for the Grand Lodge. Well, the Masonic Masons, like, they're 322. skull and bones. They're all skull and bones people, right? Skull and bones. And in a lot of their lodges, like if you see these boys over here now, I mean, Roshi's not with me, so I'll just move that like that there, so when I want to make something big, you can see it yourselves. A lot of the boys back in the day, here's more boys there now, look. Boom. And to make you laugh, the way they goes out with all their little setups on them. So the Freemasons are running the world, like they're running the show. They have the schools destroyed with the Freemasons. That's why you have all these twisted sick agendas coming into your school. They're pushed in by the Masonic Freemasonry. There's a big G there. Now that's not for God, that's for the Grand Lodge. So, and there's a lot of the Egyptian thing going with them. Even if you go around now, like even here in Ireland, you go up to the government buildings, you'll see the Freemasonry sign on it. You'll see the likes of that stuck to the side of the buildings. And you'll see the satanic all-seeing eye as well. Like he's popping up there now, Roshin's not here to sort it out, so I'll have to do it myself. So they have a lot of Egyptian shit and the satanic eye on government buildings around Ireland. See, like there now, they'll have that, the Freemasonry sign, that fucking pregnant thing. There like that, you'll have the Freemasonry sign there and you'll have the all-seeing eye in the middle of it. That's what they do. They're controlling not the world. This is the way they lay it out. They lay it all out in pyramids. See, all the things laid out in pyramids, they deliberately design it. So, right, that street will go down here, we'll stop it there, then we'll build another street across here, that'll stop it there, and then we'll build that there. And in the middle, then we'll put some kind of a shrine, so, or a lodge, or an obelisk. Now, you gotta remember what the obelisk represents. I'll explain it more to you in a minute. So I know the crack about the Freemasons and what they're all about, right? And there's a lot of politicians tied up in Freemasonry. A lot of them, most of the powers that be are tied up in Freemasonry, right? That thing keeps popping up. So, and then they go around in them little suits. Like, I remember that fella there now, I remember watching New York one day and a fella walks up to the Freemasons like that, and your man was getting up with his Freemason hat and all this, because I had videos out years ago on this stuff, but they terminated my channel. And he says, a fella like this walks up to the Freemasonry dudes and he says, now I know he's playing music, but this fella was just walking up and asking questions. He goes, do you know, he says, you're worshipping Satan when you're a Freemason. And the Freemason says, yeah, I know I am, and I love it, we love it, that's what we do. So basically that's what they do, and they sugarcoat it. And that's why it's a secret society, because they know you can't let this out into the open. This has to be, you can't let this out, it has to be kept secret. And there's every race and nationality, don't think they're all white men. I know there's only one black fella there, but there's Pakistanis, Indians, Arabs, Afghanis, Kuwaitis. They'll come from all walks of life. And most of the ex-presidents in America, they were also Freemasons. There they are back in the days. Of course, you have a pure Freemasonry thing there, the black and white floor, that's always a sign of Freemasonry, black and white tiles, the purities there, that's the way they'd be setting out their lodges, black and white. Evil, good and evil, good and evil, of course they're all about the evil, but they have to mix it in. It's like when they do witchcraft, they'll always use the Bible. You know, you see witchcraft, they'll pick up a cross. I mean, your cross represents Jesus Christ, but they'll pick up a cross and turn it upside down and use it for their witchcraft. That's what people do. That's why you have to mix the good with the bad. That's how they do it. Then they try to overpower the white with the black. So that's what's been going down for years. And I'll just give you a little look in here now. We'll say over here now. We'll just skip on in here now. We'll see who we got in here. Now here. What you're looking at there now, right? They're presidents of America, all ex-presidents, most of them. There's, what's his name? Oh, what's his face? You all know his old face, lads. Look, I can't think of his name. Everyone likes him and loves him and he's great and all that. And he's in the middle of Bohemian Grove. Right? And there's Nixon. Now, he was also the president. There was probably more presidents there too, I can't tell them all. But he was the president, and maybe he was a president as well. But Nixon got kicked out of power, this fella. And he even said it himself. He was asked about Bohemian Grove. and the big grove where they all go to the forest. He said, and he the president, he said there was nothing out there. He said it was the most sickest, twisted, perverted place that he had ever been to. That's what the president said. That's what Nixon said about Bohemian Grove. Sickest, twisted, most perverted place he's ever seen or been to, and it hosted by leaders of the world. And the burning of the cremation of care. We go over here now, see? This is what goes on now in the cremation of care. See that there now, lads? They're all dressed up in like they would into witchcrafts, you know, in hoodies and cloaks and all that kind of setup. And that's a big 40-foot owl there. And he represents the dark side. And up there then is called the cremation of care. Is where they put a body and they burn you alive, right? And you screaming your brains off. Now, Alex Jones got in there with a camera in the year 2000 and he brought this all to light. So they said, oh, they for years said they didn't exist, that, oh, people are conspiracy theorists, anyone who even talk like that, no such thing as leaders of the world meeting in a big grove in their thousands for 2 weeks, all going around having orgies and gangbangs and getting twisted and taking all sorts of drugs and worshipping the dark side. But that's exactly what was going on. Alex Jones got in with a hidden camera in the year 2000 and the video's probably gone. I remember watching it, as I said, I put videos out like 12 years ago. And when during the cremation of care, the screams out of the person that was being burned to death was off the chart. But they were saying, no, that wasn't the person being burned to death. But ever since then, now they just use steel effigies or wooden effigies or dummies. That's what they'll burn now. But like, people hadn't gotten in there now anymore, so God knows they could be back to burning people again. Because it's a big satanic ritual. That's what goes on out there in Bohemian Grove. If you don't know about it, then you need to look it up and learn about it. And that's the way to be all sitting down out there. It's like one big massive gathering of the biggest bunch of freaks, and you have to be in, you can't just go to that unless you're a president or you're a part of the family. You have to be high up in the ranks, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the JP Morgan gang. You have to be up to all the top bankers of the world and top politicians. Not every politician, a lot of politicians haven't a clue about this going on. They don't know what's going on around them. They're just putting their hand out for their wages every week. So that's what Nixon had to say about him anyway. The most twisted, sick, perverted place he's ever been to. There they are now out in the grove. That's the way to be sitting around. Inside in a big massive forest. Big massive trees. In a grove. Worshipping. That there, look. Worshipping Satan. And they dresses up like priests and everything just to disrespect God. They've all sorts of twisted shit going on out there in that thing, the Bohemian Grove. Look it up, B-O-H-E, this fucking thing. Look it up, B-O-H-E-M-I-A-N Grove. Ritual. That's all you gotta do is look it up, right? And you know all about what goes on with the Freemasons and Bohemian Grove. And that still goes on to this day, imagine. And know if you try and get in there, there are thousands like these. Them. See them rats? They're all there protecting the perverts of the world. See them rats there? They're all protecting the perverts of the world. They are everywhere. Squad cars all over the place stopping you from going in to get in there to see what's going on ever since Alex Jones broke the mold and got in and left it out to the public, right, what was really going on. The amount of cops that goes up there and blocks people from getting in, it's literally a shoot to kill policy they have, right? And what they're doing, protecting a load of pervs inside in a big huge forest. That's what they're doing. The governments of the world, the elite of the world, Bohemian Grove, of course, like it's all, we've been told about this, it's all about this in the Bible. You see the powers that be, they're keeping this ritual going from the time of this, the fallen angels, right? And that's why you have movies out there and they try to make all this. If you look at the ads on YouTube, there are all the games, it's all about making evil entities and controlling them, and they're all supposed to be good, sure. As I said, that's the way Satan comes at you. Satan comes at you and he's coming at your children through the games, the video games, and the adults. That's how they're all getting God as well. You're literally opening up wormholes. The more you play them games, them satanic games, and mess around with all that stuff, the more you're inviting the evil entities in around you. Even the CIA know about this. Years and years ago the CIA knew about this. 40, 50 years ago they knew aliens do not exist, but they tell you they do. They're interdimensional beings. That's what they are. Demons from another realm coming into our world and manifesting themselves as spacecrafts, as aliens. They can do and manifest anything. That's why when you do yoga or you do witchcraft or you do all that, you're tapping into that other dimension, right? The other spiritual world is where you're going, where you're not supposed to tap into. And the CIA knew about this, and it blocked the fellow had a book the fellow wrote a book in it, and they stopped his book, but they took the memoirs out of his book and handed them out to CIA organisations all over throughout the whole world to let them know, like, this fella's after figuring it out, like what's really going on. So this is what's going on, and all that witchcraft in the world today, fastest growing religion in the world, witchcraft, and that they tried to sugarcoat it and make it look well. That's why the people years ago knew witchcraft was evil, alright? It was satanic. And nowadays they try and make it out, no, it's grand, there's nothing to worry about here, nothing to worry about here. Remember, 1/3 of the angels fell from heaven. They didn't go to hell, they walked the earth in another realm. That's how they pervert the people. That's how they've got into power. Like George Washington, even back in the days, right, a lot of people think that America was built on Christianity, which is not true. It is not true. George Washington had no time for Christianity, but he knew a lot of Christians were coming over there, and he could use them Christians to build America. They laid America out. They're the very same people that laid, look, that's the way he was when he was inaugurated as the president, in his full Masonic Freemasonry outfit. That's the way they were. These are paintings, these are illustrations of the way it went down. There you go, look, up there in the Masonic Lodge. And what they done was, they didn't have no time for the Christians. The Christians, they only used the Christians. They didn't want no religion at all. They wanted the Masonic Masonry only religion. The satanic realm religion is what they wanted. But as I said, there were so many Christians gone over. What George Washington done was, he shunned the English lodges and the French and the German lodges, and he set up their own lodge in America to become the ruler over all lodges. So while he was saying, oh, we need to get rid of these lodges, they're perverted, they're twisted, let's get rid of them throughout Europe, we won't have it, getting on to be Christian, he was only setting up his own man for him and his boys. So people need to know the truth about George Washington, right? There, George Washington, the Freemason. George Washington, the Masonic Freemason, right? So know the crack about that. And even up here, and I'll give you a little look at this here, right? Oh, there's the fallen angels, like I said, and they'll get you with them from all angles. There's more fallen angels there now, but they give them a new name. They call them aliens, that's what they'll do. Oh yeah, oh no, these are aliens from another world. No, even in the Bible, I think it's in the book of Enoch, talks about these creatures that come out of hell. Frogmen, he called them, because they had big eyes. And what do they look like? Frogs. It's in the book of Enoch. Frogmen, up out of hell they were coming. Not space. If you were in space and you had all the technology, you wouldn't need big eyes, right? You'd have normal eyes, if not smaller eyes. The only reason you ever need big eyes is if you're coming from a dark place. A dark place. Right, so that's what they are. All your aliens and all them dossers like him that talks about aliens, there's your real demon alien, right? That's what you're talking. All them ancient alien fools on the TV, everything ancient aliens, these are demons, right? Demons. If you went back 100 years ago and you drew that picture and said to someone, what is that? They'd tell you straight away, that is a demon. But to give them a new name, we'll call them aliens, and that way you won't be able to tell one from the other. We'll just keep changing their names. They will make happy aliens, and we'll make alien movies, and we'll have aliens playing with the children and coming for the children, and they're all demonic, right? That's what they are. They're all demonic demons, right? Coming from the pits of hell is what they really are. Because these are all well exaggerated. But demons, you obviously, I mean, most likely you do have demons that because they can take any shape, any size. They can be your friend, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle. They can be what they like. But at the end of the day, they're not aliens. The CIA knows that. Some of the most intelligent people, if you want to call them that, because they worship the dark side, they know the aliens do not exist. That's why they denied it for years. But now, of course, they're telling you aliens, oh, spacecrafts here, aliens are coming, they do exist. That's because they're ready to open up hell to let these demons out on top of us, and then they'll try and control mankind with these. Because they'll say, right, we're aliens, we're from outer space, we come to help you, but if you don't listen to us, alright, 1 minute, fire up that UFO there lads, fire her up, show them what kind of speeds we can move at, look at the speeds we can move at, Mach 100, we can go from ground level to 500,000 feet into space in the blink of a stink. We can fire lasers that from one side of the world to the other. We can destroy the cities in the blink of an eye. We can burn you to dust. So we're here to keep the peace. So we're your lovely aliens, intergalactic beings, and we're here to help you. But as I said, if you don't agree and do everything we say, well, fire up that ship there again, lads, and let these ducks, dossers, peasants know what we're capable of doing, right? And what they really are is demons, right? Demons. So you better get with the program, know the crack. And see this obelisk? These obelisks here, right? They came in from Egypt. Do you think they're gods? They thought they were gods out in Egypt, right? So one of the Egyptian top dogs cut another one of them up and threw his body into the river Tigris, I think it's called. And the king wanted the body back out of the river, so it was after being cut into 14 pieces. So they could only find 13 pieces of the body, but they never found the genitals, and that's what that represents. The genitals of the so-called gods, right? It's an insult to God, right? An insult to Jesus Christ, it is, right? And in St. Peter's Square in the Basilica here in Rome, I'm not going to find a picture of it there now. And in St. Peter's Square in Rome, there is also, right, there's DC. Right, now that obelisk there, right, first I want you to know this. This is to represent Satan's penis going into the sky. It's not to be laughed at. His phallus, some people use the word his phallus, right, because the gods, when they cut him up back in the days, in the Egyptian days, when they all thought they were gods, you know the Egyptians, you know anything about them, they thought they were gods. Apollo thought he was a god. All these people. So they took all the parts of the body out of the sea, out of the river, but couldn't find that part. So they decided to build obelisks. That's what a real obelisk is. It ain't nothing about energy out of the sky. It's nothing about the ancient aliens and all them backward simpletons, right? Now I'll tell you something about this obelisk in DC. This obelisk is 555 foot tall, right? The mark of the beast. Now you might be thinking, sure, 666 is the mark of the beast, not 555, and you'll be right. 666 is the mark of the beast. And funny enough, the foundations for that obelisk that's 555 foot tall is exactly 111 feet deep. So 555 at the top and 111 feet at the bottom, put them together, and what do you get? 666. This is all ancient Egypt that they're dragging around the world because they know. The Egyptians were at it as well. God told Moses, set my people free. He was talking to the Egyptians, set my people free. And God told the people as well, God also told them to stay away from Egypt, that Egypt was full of perverts, twisted freaks that were up to every kind of splicing and dicing and sticking heads onto this and messing about kind of like they do today, right? It was twisted. It was a sick place to hang out. Nothing great about Egypt at all. They would stamp you into the ground like the bugs they want us to eat if you said one word wrong about them. And see that obelisk there? 666 feet from the base to the top, the mark of the beast. Over here, there is a little drainage, a little hole. And for years upon years upon years, everyone thought it was a little ventilation shaft or a storm water drain. When it wasn't. What in fact it was found as A couple of years ago they lifted the lid, and underneath the lid they expected to see water. What did they see? One of them 12 foot tall under the ground, buried. That's to insult the 12 apostles. You gotta understand that, and I'll see can I find that image for you now in a minute. It's hard to come by these things. We have one of them here in Ireland too, an obelisk, right? It's above in Phoenix Park in Dublin. Now I was often up there and I was saying, like, why do we have a big massive obelisk in the middle of Phoenix Park like this? Not as big as that, but I'll tell you in a while. I'll try and find out the measurements. It's a couple of 100 feet high. And I'd think, like, why do we have an obelisk? The Irish didn't build that obelisk. And I was up around there a few times, and all on the sides of the walls of the obelisk here, all in bronze, life-size figurines stuck to the wall. And the whole around, all about Wellington's wars and all English wars that went on around the world, nothing to do with Ireland. And that is above, in one of them above in Phoenix Park here in Ireland. The Phoenix rises from the ashes, right? And the reason that is, that's to let you know we own your country. Wherever you see one of them, let you know they're ruling the roost, the Illuminati, satanic, Freemason, devil worshipping scum of the earth. That's why they have them obelisks all over the place. There's one of them in St. Peter's Square. I had videos out on this before. In the 1500s, two brothers, I think they could have been priests even, went from St. Peter's Square in Rome across to Egypt and brought an obelisk back and stuck it up in the middle of St. Peter's Square. Couldn't put a cross there for Jesus Christ, no. A big massive obelisk instead. They brought the whole way back from Egypt in the 1500s. I think now sometimes in St. Peter's Square they have a little cross on top of it, only to insult God, nothing to represent. They should be torn down. They represent Satan. That's what they represent. But so people are blind and they don't know, and they never know unless they open their eyes. Now, here we have it here. There's the little 12-foot obelisk I'm on about. Shall I see, can I get you a little better picture there now? Now, see that little thing there now? There's a 12-foot obelisk. Now, that's there. That's alongside the big, massive, 555 foot above ground, 111 foot below ground, George Washington obelisk, right? That's, and here you can clearly see Washington mini monument. George, here you can see Washington Minu Monument, DC. Yeah, Minu Monument that no one knew was there. In the ground, covered with a manhole, covered over it. No one knew for years. No one just took any notice of it. And it was only in recent years they lifted it up and saw this, and they measured it. It's 12 foot high. A 12 foot high obelisk is what it is, right? 12 foot high. Right on the same ground, a couple of feet away from that 666 foot high one. They have a 12 foot high one there buried under the ground. And their sound, and like their sound, like again, more satanic stuff goes on in sound. Again, I have videos out on this. That's Shiva. In the millions of goddesses and gods that they have in India and Pakistan, Shiva is the one of destruction, is the god of destruction. She's standing on a child's head or a man's head. And they have Shiva outside Cern. And Cern is where they do the Hadron Collider. This little setup here, they're the Hadron Collider, where they're betting the atoms off each other, trying to find out what holds everything together. The speed of light, they bang them off one another. The Higgs boson, they call it the God particle. But that's only to insult God. Now this is when they open the Gotthard tunnel. Again, I have videos out on this. Again, I have videos out on this. When they open the Gotthard tunnel, they done a big satanic ritual. All satanic ritual. There's the boys blowing the trumpets. In here then you see the Satan, the big satanic eye, all satanic eyes coming out everywhere. I'll show you there. There you go. All the satanic eyes. And they were spinning around like they're falling into dimensions. And that fella there, he's a god. If you watch the video, get online, look for the Gotthard Tunnel Ritual opening. Gotthard Tunnel opening ritual. I had full videos out that I said on my other channel. That is a god. He comes up out of hell, he's Satan. And then there are all his brides then. Men and women. You have them all on a train coming up. and he touches them, and as soon as he touches them, they drop dead. And all the men and the women are dressed the same. They're all dressed like brides, because Satan's brides are men and women, because Satan is twisted, pervy, freak, and he don't give a rat's ass. Right? And I've done another video on this. See that there? There was a fella working in Cern. There was a scientist working in Cern. Look, the big satanic guy working in Cern. And he said, oh, there's a better illustration here. And he said that when they opened up the dimension to hell, you might as well say, that there were 3 demons, big massive demons, 12 foot tall, longer on the other side. And when they done the Gotthard tunnel opening years later, they got 3 big, and they made them look like, they put them in white, like angels. When in fact your man said when they opened the dimension, there was demons at this other side. He said they were like massive vampires, the most hideous creatures. That's what Cern is doing. They're telling you one thing, but they're up to something else. They're really trying to open up and get in touch with the other side, right? There, this crack, Shiva. See that ghost there and the evil entities? See them evil entities? That's what they're really trying to bring through. There's Shiva, goddess of destruction, standing on a person, busting their guts all over the place. They have that outside Cern. They're in an organisation or a business in the world that uses any deity outside their business. But yet this Cern do. And if all the ones couldn't have a Christian cross, obviously we don't want nothing to do with them, but couldn't have, do something else. But they don't. Even their Cern sign is 666, 3 6s together. So that's what they're really doing in Cern. It's not about the Higgs boson, which they call the God particle thing inside God. It's about opening up hell. There's the real Cern there. Satan's playground, right? That's the real Cern. That's what they're really up to. You go down here and I'll find you any more. That's a satanic ritual. Mock human sacrifice. Watch this. That's what they're saying, mock human sacrifice at Cern. No, people believe it was a real human sacrifice outside Cern, is what they were doing in their cloaks, the same way as they do in Bohemian Grove, right? Stab that person to death, right? Sacrifice them. Outside Cern, a place that they make the world pays millions and millions and millions of dollars and euros every year to keep going for so-called science. And they're nothing to do with science. It's all got to do with opening up the dark side. There's a man then that comes up out of the Gotthard tunnel, right? That they opened. The Gotthard tunnel ceremony. When your man seen the demons in Cern, that was years before they opened the Gotthard tunnel. And years later when they opened the Gotthard tunnel, they just happened to have the big demons behind the eye, like your man had said he'd seen in Cern years previous to that. Except he said they were big black demons. And when the Gotthard tunnel opened up, they made them white. There's the devil now running around. He's running around. There's the bride, see the men? That's a man there, all with their little veils on, men and women. And there's the bride, and that's Satan going around and he's touching them, and they're just dropping like flies. And even RTE, Russian television, said it at the time, and there they are bad-mouthing Russia all the time, and many channels throughout the world said it was the Gotthard tunnel was one big massive satanic ritual done for the whole world to see. Right? It comes up in a train, then you have another one going around with a lamb's head in her and no clothes on, and she looks like Baphomet. It's a woman, you see, but she has a lamb, her head covered like a lamb's face, insulting God again, the Lamb of God. And she was floating around in on chains in the sky. And there's Cern now, again, what I was just... There's more of what I'm talking about what Cern is really about. So that's their site, their symbol there, look. 666. That's what Cern is really about. So you want to get with the program and know it. And there's more than one hydrogen collider around the world, like. There's more than one. And they're still in Switzerland. And the old name for that place where they do it is Abaddon, and Abaddon is hell, Satan's playground, right? That's where it's all going on. So if I was you, I'd wake up to the truth. Like this is just some of the machine there. There are some of the machine. Look at the size of the people making this massive machine. Do you think that's just to figure out a bit of science, to figure out clashing a few neutrons, electrons and microns and to see what the speed of light is? No. They're opening the wormholes. They want to know what the glue that holds the world together, the glue we know it as the Word of God. They want to open up. Scientists have come out and said it. You better do the research. This is years ago. You see, YouTube has everyone locked out and banged and no one can learn nothing anymore. So if you see this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, do what you like, but do the research, right? And work it out yourself. Do you think for 1 minute that massive machine that's 400 feet, I think it's a couple of 100 feet below the ground, they have to go down in big lifts? It is ginormous. It's the biggest machine in the world. And do you think that's just to figure out about banging a few atoms together? No, it's not for figuring. It's about opening gateways, wormholes. That's what it's about, tapping into the other side. Obelisks, a lot of churches are involved with it, the schools are involved with it, the colleges, the professors, media. It's just the whole shebang. They're all tangled up in it. This is not a conspiracy. This is not... I'm not saying every single person in amongst what I'm talking about are all into this. No, it doesn't take a lot. 90% of them probably know nothing about what's really going on. It's only 10% know they're a crack. It's like what George Washington done. I'm a Christian. Come over here, build America with me. So he gave a couple of them, right? So 100 of them come on. 190 of them are real Christians. And the other 10 are cahooting amongst each other to keep the Christians in the dark. And we'll get the Christians to do all our donkey work for us. The willing donkey, well, he'll carry the heavy load. Remember that. You better get with the program, right? That's why they tried to desynthesize your children through all their disgusting pornographic shit they have on the TV, on the ads, the pimps, the prostitutes, the whores, the actors, the liars, the news anchors, the fisheries, the slash school, the media, the radio. They're coming for your children every which way, and they're trying to desensitize your children into accepting your bugs and beetles and cockroaches and maggots and fucking widgery bugs and fucking crickets and grasshoppers. We want your children to eat all that, and we want you to worship this. This is what we want you to worship. So wake up and do the research. So with that said, God bless you and God bless your family, and boom, catch you in the next cartoon.